If I saw another day, only to scream into the night. Nothing ever tries to change, even if I want to realize. 'Cause I've been sitting here, same old ways, taking off without the same mistake. Darling, when you go away, it won't be as simple for you.
Yo, guys. Old Man G here, RDS back again with some breaking news. So it's a bit late, got back, but obviously World Cup is going on. I didn't really want to cover a lot of Manchester United stuff. Obviously, a lot of stuff has happened today. Messi Saudi will come later. But the biggest news really right now coming out of Trafford is that due to a mutually agreed decision, Cristiano Ronaldo is leaving, sacked. He's leaving Manchester United. According to Fabrizio Romano, although Manchester United posted a statement due to a mutual consent agreement, following talks in Manchester United, we mutually agreed to end our contract. Ronaldo says, I love Manchester United and I love the fans. That will never, ever change. It feels like the right time to seek a challenge. I wish Manchester United all the best. Okay. So Ronaldo's gone, basically. I knew this was coming. Really, I only knew two ways that this was going to handle it. And really, it was based on the payout. If Ronaldo, because there's no way that he was going to come back. And the question was whether he would agree to basically forsake the £14 million, I think, that he's owed, which in this case he did. Ronaldo did. He did. Make sure you like the vid as well, by the way, guys. So he was either going to leave by mutual agreement, termination, no payoff, or battle for a payoff. In this instance, he didn't battle for a payoff. It was mutual agreement, mutual consent. Ronaldo has tons of money regardless. Shout out to Abrasiono in the comment. I know, of course, I'm fairly sure you're not a Ronaldo fan. So probably Messi fan, but I mean he has his own issues today. Messi is so clear, man. Well, and a lot of people are saying that now, but I think right now, Ronaldo will probably thinking about Portugal. Messi will be thinking about hopefully salvaging Argentina's chance at the World Cup. So this will probably be a distraction, really. So Messi, good for United, showing some spine. It was always going to be terminated. Whether he goes to this is the thing, Phil first. Whether he goes and signs for the Saudi Arabia club, I'm not entirely sure. He might do that. He might sign for because that was, I think, 350 million, if I recall. 350 million pounds was the reported offer for Cristiano Ronaldo to move to Saudi, basically. But no, that didn't happen because he won the challenge. The key thing really here is that no one. I do generally believe that Ronaldo did have offers, but what I think is the case is that he no one was prepared to pay a transfer fee for him for obvious reasons. He's a 37-year-old player. Why would you want to pay a transfer fee for that type of guy? So with his contract terminated, he like Ronaldo, whatever you say, Ronaldo is smart. Ronaldo is smart. He is smart. Abbasio, no, I'm devastated. Sir Marcus Rashford. Let's see, okay. I don't know where it's coming from. Messi fans for the timing. It's not. Yeah, I think the whole Messi run. I think that needs to be put to one side for 1 second in face of the World Cup, because there should be no Messi versus Ronaldo stuff sort of going on right now. I think the key really in this whole thing really is to realize Ronaldo was going to leave the club. That was always going to be the case at the end of the day. The question really was it going to be, were lawyers going to be involved, or was he gonna, which meant he might be rotting in the reserves, or was he gonna basically just leave by mutual consent? And he has. Now, I guess the question is, where does Ronaldo go next? Because he says he wants to challenge, which means he's going to play additional football. Now, does that mean MLS? Does that mean SAG? Does that mean other thing? I don't know. New challenge for me with the nature of Ronaldo means I want to play at the highest level, because it would make no sense to me for Ronaldo to leave Manchester United and then to go and play in the Saudi Arabian League or in the MLS, etc. Because, in all honesty, to be a bench player in Manchester United is better than being a starter in the MLS or in the Saudi League. That's just facts. That's just facts. As simple as that. That is literally just facts. So, as far as I'm concerned, what are the viable options, the viable choices? Where can Cristiano Ronaldo go? I don't know, and that's why I'm still intrigued about this whole thing, because Ronaldo clearly must have had offers, otherwise he wouldn't have been so hasty to make this determination. So I think my question for Ronaldo is, what were those offers? And if you have those offers, where's he going? CR37 is audio. Saudio CR37 for Newcastle. That's a fair point, but I don't think he's the type of player that Eddie Howe would want. I think I'd be very surprised if and you got to look at how Eddie Howe plays. Eddie Howe plays also with a pressing system. He also plays with a pressing system. So I don't think you're going to see. I don't think you're going to see him going to Newcastle. HK1 says the best and the greatest for United. We need to fix the real factor of the club. Yeah, no, of course. I think the biggest thing that people need to realize is the Glazers, and obviously now he's gone. I think that without a squad player down, I think you have a situation where that this should pressure the Glazers to go in to buy in the summer. That's something I want to also talk about, because this is obviously an impromptu stream, but this should prompt the Glazers to go out in January and buy, and it might be Gakpo. It might be Gakpo. Personally, for me, I think that United should go for Osimhen as a number 9. That's what I think. I would love Victor Osimhen at United. You can make an argument that they should go for Gakpo and Osimhen in the summer, because quite frankly, Anthony Martial, in my personal opinion, should also be moved on as well, because the guy is too injury prone right now to continue at the football club, and you have to look at other players as well. So, you still probably think you might need to bring in two forwards, but the reality is that the issues go deeper, and Ronaldo leaving doesn't change the fact that the Glazers are the main issue at Manchester United Football Club. That's the reality. Yes, United play better somewhat without Ronaldo. That this season that has been a fact. But it's not been massively better in my personal opinion. It's really not been. It's been okay, but I wouldn't say it's been massively better. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to vid, guys. If you're new, it goes a long way. Blue Cowboys, Todd B, Sister Massey, Cody Gakpo's ever taken. Yeah, but I don't think Gakpo, in my personal opinion, he's not really a striker in the sense. Like for me, Gakpo, I'll be honest, Gakpo for me is on the level of Rashford. I still have yet to see what the hype is. He still could be really good, but he doesn't strike me as someone that's like Osimhen is better than Gakpo. Let's put it that way. Although Osimhen would be more expensive, but Gakpo is for me he's on Rashford's level. So it's good to sign him for depth, which is why I think that we will sign him. And he's available. But if people are thinking that Gakpo is going to come in and destroy the Premier League, I think that's a huge overestimation. However, and Samasi brings up a good point. Where will Cristiano Ronaldo go next? Where will Cristiano Ronaldo go next? Where will he go next? That is the question. And Chelsea were interested. Chelsea Football Club are interested in Cristiano Ronaldo. I won't be surprised if you hear Ronaldo to Chelsea in the next couple of weeks. Because I mean, obviously the people in the chat, because I want us to be interactive, because this is a community. Where do you see Ronaldo going? Maybe I'm gonna put. In fact, I'll put a poll out. I'm gonna put a poll out, guys. Where do you see? Let's have a look. I'm gonna put a poll out. Where do you see Ronaldo going? Okay, so I'll put 3 options. Chelsea. Where else could he go? Sporting, or let's say the MLS. There's not really any other teams in the Premier League I can think he's not going to go to Liverpool. He's not going to go to City. He's not going to go to Newcastle, really. He's not going to go to Spurs. He's not going to go to Liverpool United. So really, the only other big club in the Premier League you can go to is Chelsea. Oh, PSG, I guess. I'll put PSG in. Maybe PSG, because he could cut his wages. I don't think he'll go back to Serie A. But yeah, I'll put this in. Here's the polls. So let me know in the chat what you guys think. Yeah. Let's have a look. Abba says Tony Marshall. Sports Cap says big up, bro. Yes, man. Thank you very much, man. Appreciate it. Yogi Man is expected to speak to Chelsea again regarding Cristiano. Todd Bowley sees the appeal of signing Ronaldo, while Graham Potter is less convinced. Is that coming from Jacobs, Ben? Any move will need Potter's back owners to exert their authority. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that Potter is the coach, but remember Samasi. It's London Cowboys. It's London Blue Cowboys. Chelsea are a brand now. And if I'm an American owner, especially if I've just recently acquired a new club and I want brand awareness, what better footballer do I bring in than Cristiano Ronaldo to increase that brand awareness? Because quite frankly, it's his only chance. It's really his only. It's in order to stay in the Premier League, because none of other Premier League teams. He's definitely not going to Liverpool. He's definitely not going to Manchester City. He's definitely not going to Spurs. Obviously United. Enough said. Arsenal. I mean, Arsenal. Could he go to Arsenal Football Club? Would Arsenal? Because Arsenal don't really have an outright number 9. And because Gabriel just isn't really outright number 9. Let's keep it a stack. I'd be surprised if he went to Arsenal. And with the wages that he's on, Ronaldo's on, I don't know. I don't think that that Arsenal could afford those wages. But I guess you can't rule out Arsenal, especially if they're thinking of a title charge. But I'd say it's more likely Chelsea. Chelsea are the ones in the position where you're like, because of Toby's brand awareness and also the fact that, honestly speaking, I know people are hating on Ronaldo right now, but I mean, how good has Aubameyang been? How good has any of the number nines have been? I'd argue that's because of a lack of service. I think that's been the big problem with Chelsea. They don't have the service. But that's the one I can think of anyway. Sue you later. Avon says he's not going to Lugo. Everyone says, "Oh, Bayern." No, I think Bayern have come out repeatedly and said that because it's not. It goes against Bayern's. It goes against the Ronaldo signing would go against Bayern Munich's philosophy because Bayern Munich do not tend to, unless there's some level of loyalty before, like with like Manuel Neuer. Bayern Munich do not tend to. Sorry, 2 seconds, everyone. They don't tend to buy 30, definitely late 30-year-old players. It just doesn't work for them. Let me just see what else Cristiano said. Yes, obviously this is he wishes them the best. It's very, very short. So no fans, no change. I wish Manchester United all the best. So it's about him. Obviously, Pep Guardiola signing a new contract. Okay, yeah. So the break here. The club thanks him for his immense contribution across 2 spells. Old Trafford statement confirms and leave it at that. It's very short, very sweet. Trying to be respectful from both sides. It is what it is in that respect. But yeah, it is what it is. I wouldn't say that he got rejected 12 times. I don't think that I think the biggest issue was that anyone that wants to get Ronaldo in the summer would have had to pay a transfer fee and possibly his wages as well. Now I think the situation is such that there's no transfer fee. So as a result, and that's going to be a couple of £1 million or whatever, maybe 10 million, 50, 40 million. I don't know how many million would be. Now, clubs don't have to do that, which mean, the sign-on fee or the wages, so can be covered in that way. So I don't think that Ronaldo is going to have a difficulty finding another club to play. I think the issue ultimately is which one. I'm looking at the chat. Man, barely any of you have voted, guys. Come on, vote in the chat. There's a poll there. But anyway, for those who have, they voted for Chelsea and maybe one for voted for PSG. But no, I mean, at the end of the day, it's I don't like I'll be honest, I don't like how it ended. I don't like how the whole situation with Ronaldo ended. I think that the way that he handled the interview and everything was bad, was poor form. And realistically speaking, how are you going to be able to find another top Champions League club to play for? I don't know. Because say for example, I mean, he says that he was disrespected by Ten Hag. That's possibly a reason. He was disrespected by Ten Hag, and that is why he didn't want to play on. But if, for example, he does go to Chelsea look like they probably aren't going to qualify for the Champions League next season. So you're in the same situation you were last time. Like he could have done as Zlatan and said, listen, okay, I'm going to take a back step seat and support the youth and come on and support when I can. That for me is what I think Ronaldo should have done. Instead, it was about him. And he's going to now try and find a club where he will try and play Champions League football. With clubs that may not necessarily qualify for Champions League football. Because like I said, Chelsea right now, I think United, probably without Ronaldo, look in a better position to qualify for Champions League football than Chelsea Football Club do. So are we going to see Ronaldo, if he goes to Chelsea, a year's time from now, being like, nah, I'm not really feeling it anymore, disrespect by the manager, bearing in mind we're seeing that Graham Potter doesn't really like him. I don't think a lot of managers really want to be able to deal with Ronaldo in that sense. I mean, I personally, for me, I think the best thing for Ronaldo would be to go back to Juventus. I think, um, or Syria. Whether that's you can't really go to Milan. I don't think they have in Milan. They've already got Drew and already got Zlatan. Inter, maybe we're back with Jose, Roma, but I think if just given the sort of maybe slowness of the game, to use it, I think the best move for Ronaldo is to go to try and negotiate a top flight team in Syria. I even think in the League On he would struggle because of how physical it is. Just look at what Messi's been having to deal with. So I think the best move for me for Ronaldo would be back to Syria, not to stay in the Premier League. If he stays in, I can predict if he goes to Chelsea Football Club, who have the same issues here. However, I just have this feeling that Todd B, in order to increase the brand awareness of Chelsea Football Club with his new takeover, and especially in the States, you need a brand icon, and you can use someone like CR7 to deliver that. It is what it is. Whether that's right or wrong remains to be seen. So, but I just think that that's something that like he probably would do. Almost 40, was it almost 50 people in chat watching? Guys, make sure that you smash that like button. Smash that like button and subscribe if you're new. It really goes a long way. I'm wanting to really push the channel and make up for lost time. So please do smash the like button. Subscribe to Red Devil Studio if you're new. Check out my Twitch below. I am doing a lot of World Cup coverage. So please subscribe to the channel. Twitch, all the rest of it. Maybe follow me on Twitter. Links in the description. Let me just. Samasi's in the chat. Thanks. He should go back to Syria or Portugal. Yeah, that's for me. That's the key thing. If he's gonna go, should he should either go to Syria or Portugal, because the Ligue 1 is for me is too physical, and I'd be very surprised if PSG wanted to have a situation where they had Mbappe, Neymar, Messi, and Cristiano Ronaldo all in one team. I don't even know how you'd be able to manage a team like that. It just wouldn't be impossible. It sounds amazing on paper, but to manage the different egos that all those players have, I just think would not work. Kanyak says, praying for a Chelsea move. Viva Ronaldo. Sue. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there are a lot of people. I'm sure there's a lot of Chelsea fans that will want to see Cristiano Ronaldo at the club. He can't be any worse than what they have currently right now with Sterling, who's really bottling, and Aubameyang is really bottling. They need someone to score goals, but I think they also need someone who can create goals as well. And I think that's a problem right now with Chelsea Football Club. So yeah, I don't know. I think that there's I think that if, like I said, if Ronaldo is staying in the Premier League, the most logical move to me is Chelsea. Because I guess, like I said, he could go to Newcastle, but I don't see I think the Saudi owners are smarter, probably in a footballing sense, than Todd Bowley is. And two, just looking at how Eddie Howe plays, I would argue that they probably press more than United do with under Ten Hag. So it'd be going from seeming to be playing bad as seeming to be playing just crap. Not to mention the fact that, to be quite honest, I think managers talk, and I think that if you are a PR manager and you see the situation that happened with Ten Hag, and you think, am I able to put myself in a situation where I can control the ego and manage the ego of Cristiano Ronaldo? Yes, no. Some might be like, yeah, I can. Others might be like, no, I can't, but it is what it is. Shout out to Matthew, man. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Evening all. Big up to everyone in the show and chat. Thank you very much, buddy. Happy about Sporting Lisbon. Yeah, I think a lot of people saying him going back to Sporting Lisbon. Yeah, a lot of people saying that. But he'd have to take if CR7 would go to Sporting Lisbon, he'd have to take a significant wage cut, a very very significant wage cut. And whether he would do that or not, I'm not entirely sure. If Ten Hag thinks he's a good manager, he should have protected Ronaldo rather than sat. Well, sorry, just got back from work, so quite tired. You know, at the end of the day, like, I believe that a lot of these things, these talks, should not be aired in public. And I believe that Ronaldo wanted to move, even obviously in the summer. Now, in the summer, we said it's because of children, but the way that he was handled. But you know, maybe some people might cynically say it's because of no Champions League football or what have you. But I think at the end of the day, like, whatever you say, like, he definitely wants him. Oh, it's 30 votes now. Thanks, guys. Thank you guys for voting. 31 votes, yeah. So 61% of you guys say you think he's going to Chelsea. So yeah, I think he's a smart man at the end of the day. Cristiano Ronaldo is he's not an idiot, and he wants to do what's best for himself, for his family, and that's it. And right now, what seems to be best for himself and his family is not staying in Manchester. Whether that's because let's be real, Manchester, the weather isn't great, you know, and then on top of that, if you've got a manager that you don't respect or get on with, then that's going to be problematic, and that's what happened here. And the reality is that this was probably the only way to force a move from the club. The only way. But it is an interesting precedent because sometimes you think, you know, could Paul Pogba have done this? You know what I mean? Like, it is a very interesting precedent to have, you know, because you've come out, you've spoken to the public of that. Now, by mutual consent, they've terminated your contract. That's it. You know, I just wonder what would have happened if Pogba, you know, had come out after that Mourinho interview and said, "Listen, this guy hates me." Said this. Say Piers Morgan, you know, and then Pogba, and then United say, "Oh no, Pogba, you jog on," and he goes, and Mourinho stays. You know, it's interesting. It is interesting, you know, because I do think this does set a precedent for United players, but I think players in general, you know, and that's I think the wider picture that people aren't talking about. You know, if you want to force a move to a club rather than protest and don't play and all these different things that people used to do, how about speaking to the press, speaking to the media, being honest, doing all those open things and sharing information? That might also be a way of trying to force them into a different club that players might take up opportunity in the future. So I think it's important to watch this space. You know what I mean? Singali Kanipuri says he must go to Chelsea. He must go to Chelsea. Well, if he wants to stay in the Premier League, he must go to Chelsea. But if he wants to still play the top level, then he probably should consider Serie A. Because, like I said, Ligue 1 ain't happening. It ain't happening in Ligue 1. It's not happening in Germany, really. Bayern won't take him. And I don't think he's good enough to help Dortmund, to be honest. Who else? Yeah, Spain. And he's not going back to Spain. Like, unless like him and Diego Simeone can come to an agreement and he plays for Atletico Madrid, which is the only team I can, because he's not going to play for Barca, he's going to play for Real Madrid. So it's really only Atletico Madrid that he can play for. Whether he can play for, whether Ronaldo can play for, I don't know, because I think Simeone and him got beef. So there are a limited amount of places where he can go to personally. So this is a good comment. I want to highlight this by Tapwire. So it says, sometimes you've got to make the tough decision. I'll tell you to Arbor as a great example. It may not work out both parties, but sometimes you've got to prioritize dressing room peace. And I'm sure there was an element of that. I don't necessarily think that was all on him. You know, because, you know, Ronaldo, whatever you say about him, he did give legitimate criticisms for Manchester United, and there were a lot of legitimate criticisms there. the mindset of like the younger players regarding football and their approach. I agree with him. I agree with him on that. I agree with him on his stances on the glaze and stuff like that. So, like I said at the start of this stream, Ronaldo going doesn't suddenly make Manchester United a good football club or team or playing well, etc. It doesn't. All for me, all this means is that the drama surrounding Manchester United is gone for now, because there is always drama at Manchester United. Um, and and we're now a squad player down. That's it. Drama's over for now, and we're squad player down. So we need to sign another replacement in January, ideally a striker. And we need to like refocus our efforts on winning the well, not winning, but competing in the Premier League and the Europa League, with all the stuff going around. And I'll probably call him, if you want a player power to stay, then fine. I'm fed up with player power of my club. Back Erik all the way, says Matthew. Arsenal suffered in the short term, but benefit their squad, harm in the long run. Yeah, I mean, we can see that. I mean, it always comes to the age of how long do you give a manager? How long do you give a manager a football club? Because this is now Arteta's what? This is his start of his third full season, but this will be. But he came halfway through, so this is like 3.5 now, I think. Yeah, because eighth, fifth, and then now. So yeah, so this is 3.5 now. So it's the age-old question of how much time do you give a coach? How much time do you actually give a coach to actually to implement his philosophy? I think Ten Hag should be given time. We'll see what happens. I'm not Ten Hag in or out, etc. Right now, I'm still waiting to see what Ten Hag will produce, because there's certain things I'm like, this is good, and there's certain things I'm like, I don't like this. So we'll see what happens. But the only issue I think with time is that it assumes that everyone stays still, and that's the problem. And the reality is that Newcastle are, for example, you're seeing news that now Pepper's agreed to stay at Manchester City, extend his contract, so he's not going anywhere. Klopp isn't going in for a while, and you're hearing from Liverpool that they potentially it might be getting new owners, new rich owners that are going to willing to invest. Newcastle are doing a lot better, a lot quicker than people expected. And obviously, Chelsea, Spurs, and stuff like that are in the mix. Arsenal coming out of nowhere. So, yes, you need to give people time, but at the same time, you also need to realize that other clubs are ahead and they're going fast. And the point of Manchester United is that even if time is allowed, it's almost like someone is like you're going up a ladder and you've got 2, 3, 4, 5 people that are further ahead of the ladder than you. Yeah, of course you can try and you can go up the ladder faster, but they're still ahead of you, and there's only so much that you can do to narrow the gap between us before you realize actually I've got to accept that I'm not as fast as the people above me. That's the problem, in my opinion. Why would Chelsea or PSG take him? Even Sporting shouldn't take him. He's only as a top 10 goal, but he is finished. I don't think that. I suspect that if he was the mutual termination of the contract thing, presumably must be as a result of ongoing issues, but also I assume he's got some offer from somewhere. I've got to believe that, because for me it doesn't make sense for him to go and leave Manchester United mid-season to play in the MLS or the Saudi League. So there must be. So the key thing, obviously, is the fact that there's no transfer fee, and maybe he could take a wage cut. And there must, or there may be some truth in this Todd Boehly Chelsea story. The Todd Boehly Chelsea story has nothing to do with him going to Chelsea. Nothing to do with his footballing ability, and more so with his brand ability. And likewise, the PSG. That's basically the reason for those two teams. It's about brand than it is about necessarily the player, because that's how PSG is run, and that is how Chelsea look like they might be being run. So that's why it'd probably be those two if he was to stay. All the issues should have been kept. I agree with that, Matthew. I agree with that. I agree. It should have been kept behind closed doors. Keep your comments and questions coming in, by the way, guys. Just keeping interactive. So I've got probably another 20 minutes, I think. Yeah, they should have. I don't like these things being aired out. But it's difficult because you don't know what's going on behind closed doors all the time. And if for example, the manager said some bad things about him, his family, his wife, his deceased children, stuff like that, then I would probably, then I can understand I probably would act the same way, because I would put family ahead of everything. And I wouldn't want to be in an environment where I'm under someone who is disrespecting me and my family, etc. But if it's just, but if it's but because in the even interview, you could tell there were certain things that he was trying to want to say but didn't want to say it. So I'm not sure. But all that said, um, you are a professional footballer, and even in my line of work as a doctor, like, you have to still try and keep work and home life kind of separate. And at the end of the day, it had only been 6 months till the end of the season. Then your contract is up. Then you can go. To not do that and to terminate, for me, is quite bizarre, personally. And the reason I don't think you can do that is, one, whatever happened in Manchester United was so significant that he needs to leave. Two, it's bad for his brand or business awareness. Or three, he actually has an offer, or offers, but they wouldn't sign him because they don't want to pay a transfer fee. Those are the only things that I can think of. Shout out to Memphis. I think he should retire. I think he should retire. Well, he said if he wins the World Cup with Portugal, then he will. So there you go. Shout out to Rich Sportsman. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Thank you very much, man. Wise TV Zambia says, best decision. Time to let a man with finished legs and a big ego go. Should have been in the summer though. He made us lose Cavani. Oh no. See. Let's not talk about Cavani, man. Cavani was. I don't. The one thing I respect about Ronaldo, because people say his legs are finished, is like, I still prefer a fit player than an injured player. I still prefer a fit player than an injured player. Okay, Cavani was incredibly injury prone. So is Martial as well. Ronaldo, even Messi, surprisingly at their ages, barely pick up any injuries. Like, as talented as a player is, I love talented players. Great. They've been, even Cavani is almost better. I definitely agree. Definitely agree. But if you're picking up injuries all the time, you're no use to a club, and it's not your fault as a player, but you can't rely on, like, oh, that guy scored a brilliant goal in 2 or 3 games a season when you're out for like 50% of the season, because then when your team needs you, you're not there and you suffer. And for me, that's what happened with United with Cavani at times, and also with Martial at times as well during the last couple of seasons. Like, constantly picking up injuries, not being available, it's annoying. And as much as people cuss on Ronaldo, he hasn't always made himself available. Yes, the coach didn't pick him, but he's always made himself available. That's my personal opinion, anyway. Yeah, the Newcastle turnover is mad quick. I expected them to take a few seasons hovering in those outside top 6 spots, but they are on course to break into top 6 this year. Yeah. Because because it's not about spending money, it's also about getting the right players. And Newcastle have gotten the right players. They have a very good coach as well. And when you look at the fact that Chelsea have kind of dipped, that Liverpool have dipped somewhat, that Spurs are kind of there but not there. Newcastle barred their result at Liverpool in the 98th minute. They could be undefeated. They could have been undefeated so far this season. So given the way they play, I wouldn't be surprised if I definitely think that Newcastle definitely getting top six in the top six. The question is whether they can get top four, and it's definitely possible. It's definitely possible, especially if Chelsea, Liverpool, and United and Spurs continue to be inconsistent. Um, Daniel Mone says Arsenal is the greatest team in the world right now. He should join us. Well, we'll see. We shall see. We shall see whether he joins. He's on. Arsenal is definitely a team that I think he can look into. I'm going to just quickly just check to see if there've been any further up fabrizio updates. Let's just refresh this. I assume it's still the same. I don't expect to hear a lot because I think they just wanted it to be quick, like almost like a band-aid. Just quickly rip off a band-aid, and that's it. I generally think that that's I generally think that that's what they wanted, both Ronaldo and Manchester United. A quick band-aid, rip it off, get it over and done with, and on your way. I don't think they want anything to be drawn out, anything to be ugly, stuff like that. Not at all. Run those likes up, people. Thank you, please. Yeah, get those likes up, guys. Get those likes up. It helps with the watch time to generate people to come to channel. Get those likes up, guys. Get those likes up, please, and subscribe if you're new. It goes a long way, but man, yeah, Arsenal United, Arsenal fans in here, man. Ronaldo should not be treated this way, in my opinion. I mean, you know, at the end of the day, it's what he wanted, Cognac. It's what he wanted. He wanted to leave the football club, and the only way he was going to leave the football club, in my opinion, was if he was kicked out, terminated, whichever way you want to call it. That's the only way that he was going to leave the football club. And the Glazers and the Bull were adamant that they weren't going to let him go. So this seemed to be the only way. Terminate his contract. Ronaldo's a millionaire, multi-millionaire anyway, so losing 14 mil is not that big of a deal to him. I genuinely would want to know more about because you know he didn't do this, I guess, technically at Juve or Madrid. So I'm generally interested to see what exactly was like when he says Ten Hag disrespected him. Like, you know, are you legit telling me that it was because he put him on the pitch for 3 minutes to play or something like that? I don't know. I don't know. You know, he felt disrespected because Ten Hag put him with a few minutes to go on the field. I don't know. I don't know. I think that I don't know. I really don't know. But if that's the case, then you know he needs to sort out his ego, because at the end of the day, he's not playing at the top anymore. He's not, and I don't know. There aren't that many teams that are going to want to pay for Cristiano Ronaldo, and certainly with those wages, they're not. It's just as simple as that, really. Black Ginger 77 says he pulled an NBA player move 4 straight. Yeah. Ronaldo, whatever you say about this whole thing, Cristiano Ronaldo was incredibly smart. Incredibly smart about the whole thing. Sorry. There was no like indication in my mind that this wasn't pre-planned. That there wasn't thought gone into it. And you know, the idea that you're like, okay, I'm going to change, etc. You know, it's ultimately it's a mess. It's a mess. It's a mess. And we've got to remember that Messi didn't actually want to leave Barca. He was forced out because of contracts. Ronaldo, you know, left Madrid because he didn't feel respected. Went to Juve, did a bit at Juve, lasted what 3 seasons. Juve, Then left Juve, then went to United. Literally one, not even 2 seasons, one and a bit season, and now is leaving, and now is trying to find a club. I don't know with this guy. I don't know. I don't know. He's gonna have the same issues at Chelsea. He'll be sat on the bench and creating drama off to Saudi. Yeah, I mean, I I because I know that Graham Potter probably doesn't want Cristiano Ronaldo. It's quite possible that Todd Bowley might threaten Graham Potter and say, "Listen, if you don't play Ronaldo, you're getting sacked." That's a possibility. But yeah, the only difference with I guess Chelsea is because he there's no like club history there, like at all with him there. Um, I don't know. And also, they don't necessarily have, I would argue, better alternatives. It's not like Chelsea are playing great football anyway. Um, People, you might say, okay, with Martial when he's fit and Rashford others, United play better. Chelsea, Chelsea play even if Ronaldo flops. It's like, well, they were flopping already with Aubameyang and Sterling and all these different things. Um, so and Chelsea do need a goal scorer. So it is what it is. Daniel wants the United fans need to keep on relentlessly protesting against our American as in the English game. Well, that's another thing. Um, whatever you say about the Ronaldo interview, his comments about the Glazers were definitely on point. And at the end of the day, um, at the end of the day, they're still there. The club is still Ronaldo leaving Manchester United only removes the drama around him and United for now. That's it. It's gone. But there is going to be new drama. There will be new drama. I mean, United have gone from, in the last 2 years or so, we've gone from um the whole Ollie in, Ollie out drama to sorry, we had the you had the Super League drama, um, which was all over the place. Then you had the whole Ollie in, Ollie out drama. Then you had obviously the ongoing Pogba drama. Um, then you have the Ronaldo drama. Um, and then you have the you know Glazers drama again. So there's always drama. There is always drama, man. And whether that would I don't think that would change with Ronaldo leaving the club. I wouldn't be surprised if there is more drama, but it is what it is. Um, let me just have a quick look at that votes poll that I put there. Remember to like the vid, guys. Like the vid, guys, if you're new. Um, let's look at that poll. So 60 votes so far. Shout out to everyone who's voted. Where do you see Ronaldo going? And I think almost 60% of you, most of you say Chelsea, with 23% saying PSG and 80% saying Sporting. Those are kind of the three options that I had there anyway. Because that's kind of that's the only place. And if you haven't liked the vid as well, by the way, guys, please give the video a like. It really goes a long way. It helps with the YouTube algorithm to get the channel further and bigger and further and more and all the rest of it. So, and subscribe to the channel if you're new, guys. The subscribers to support. It's really appreciate it. American was installing American sound into the English, thus slowest decay in the three big English teams, and now Chelsea. I mean, Chelsea. To be fair, that started with Abramovich. To be honest, I mean, there wasn't any problem before, but now it was all about it was all about it was all about the Russian money coming in, and that Chelsea, the money that Chelsea put into the game from Big Brand, that for me, that's what changed. So I know you can talk about the American ones, and they did, but I think for me, the it was Chelsea's from Big Bram that really changed the philosophy of football, because suddenly it it became about the amount of money that you need to spend to win things, and spending to win, spending to win. And then a lot of the clubs, traditional English clubs, that just couldn't cope. And the American business model is fundamentally is profit. So yeah, it's a combination of both. But I definitely think that what's the that Abramovich's impact, I think made a massive difference in my personal opinion. Bonewell Francis Dupe, fair enough, says jealous people always talk their opinions. So do you think United playing well better than Chelsea? You make I don't know what this comment is. What do you mean? So you think United are playing well better than Chelsea? You make me laugh. I'm not sure what you mean. Are you saying that? First of all, I don't know where you get the jealousy from. Second, yes, United are playing better than Chelsea right now. I think that's. So do you think United are playing better than Chelsea? Yes, they are. It's an objective fact based on the table. They are playing better football than Chelsea Football Club. The table says United are fifth and Chelsea are what, ninth, I think, eighth or ninth or something. And Chelsea have still to play Liverpool and Manchester City as well. So if they played those two teams, I think they would probably have been in the first 14 games. I think they probably would have been 10th or 11th. But we'll see. Ever since they go into of course, of course they won a CL, but that's as far as it goes. That's as far as it goes. I don't know, So it is a difficult one, and like I said, I don't blame Cristiano. Well, I do blame Cristiano Ronaldo, but I mean I don't blame um the fans or anyone like that. Um, he was not sacked. They agreed to separate. No, no, Nick to do. No, no, know your facts. Okay, first and foremost, the first thing is: have you ever heard of a thing called clickbait? That's the first thing. The second thing actually is that, in a way, he was. In a way, he was. So because there's no way that Manchester United were going to just gloss over what Cristiano Ronaldo did in that interview. And the reality is that um, if your contract is terminated and you are see if agreement by mutual thing would for me, the way I see it, would mean, oh, my contract has been terminated and I am getting the remainder of my the money for the remainder of my contract. That for me would be more. That would be more mutual, because Connor's agrees like, okay, fine, and I'm getting the money for the remainder of my contract. But if you're having your contract terminated and they're like, yeah, you're not getting a payoff. I'm not saying that's a sacking, but um that's effectively close to a sacking anyway. SMB don't lie. SMB don't lie. Don't lie. I don't want I don't want you to lie. I'm don't sorry, we're live stream. Are you telling me that Australia beating France? I don't want you, because I was already gassed when Saudi were being, but I don't want SMB. No, 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 no. Oh man, I love the World Cup, guys. See, I want to do becoming World Cup stuff, not Ronaldo. I want to becoming World Cup stuff, not Ronaldo. I'm serious, brother. Check your phone, man. Yeah, bro. I'm gonna be rounding this up in the last 10 minutes, guys. I don't want to mean, man, like a good. I mean, guys, this World Cup is good, man. This World Cup is good, man. This World Cup is. I have to put this World Cup is popping off. It's actually popping off, man. It's actually popping off because first of all, Saudi, and then, guys, I dare Messi and Mbappe to not qualify with their clubs. And Ronaldo, I should say. I dare them. 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 Sorry. Let me quick. So Daniel, I think this is me when I say American standards. I mean, it's a big thing in the US to win the biggest trophies once, but in Europe, it's more for clubs to win many trophies. I think you missed something. When I say American standards, I mean it's a big thing in the USA to win the biggest trophies once, but in Europe, it's okay. I see. I've just read that. Okay, so you mean so do you mean that it's only just win it once and that's it? Whereas with football in Europe, it's important to have the consistency and build and have a legacy, etc. Then yeah, I understand that. I understand that. I think the real big thing with the American situation is more the fact that the value of profit over 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 long-term success. That for me is the key thing. If we're going to talk about American values, is that it's okay. Yes, we want to win the biggest trophies, but the most important thing is that we generate a lot of revenue, and I think that's the key. That's one thing that I've noticed. Um, I need to go out of this live, man. This is just so yeah. Came back to that. Hernandez injures. Lucas Hernandez get injured. It's getting guys. Okay, I'm gonna have to round up. I'm Amos and says he has to go. Yeah, and I agree, Amos. I agree, man. I agree. Guys, I'm gonna have to bounce, guys. I'm gonna bounce because this game looks like it's popping off. I'll just end with this. Ronaldo, thank you for your services to Manchester United. I hope you go and do better things. But I think this was the best decision. And you know, I hope you get success wherever you go to. But quite frankly, bro, I think you're a little bit delusional, a little bit egotistical, and you need to realize that you're 37, and you're not the same anymore, bro. You know, you're not the same. You're not the same, Ronaldo, man. So, wishing you all the best. It's still not going to take the memories. Are still not going to take away from the fact that you're the Premier League titles, the Champions League win. All those things are always going to be the same. But yeah, I just hate that it had to end this way. Lee K, shout out to Lee, man. So him going to Chelsea doesn't benefit Chelsea at all in terms of ambition to win it cups, in my opinion. But I just want to see how it plays because the downfall will be especially exactly. I just want to see it because I know a lot of Chelsea fans that that flip flops. That's why I want to see it, but it doesn't make sense in terms of it. Just makes because seeing the downfall of Chelsea Football Club brings me a lot of joy. It doesn't make sense from a footballing perspective at all, but makes sense in Todd B's mind for a brand initiation perspective, and that's his thing. Right, guys, enjoy the World Cup. Hopefully, this is the last Manchester United video I make for quite some time because I'm tired of this drama around this football club. Have a nice day, everyone, and cheers.